Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Fpuf. My name is Juan. Happy belated Thanksgiving and I guess happy Black Friday too. I'm not shopping, so hey. So tonight we're gonna go ahead and get started with a question that we were given last week. So the question is, where do you start? By cutting back, attacking small debt first, then going to the big? Where do you start? So the best way to answer this question is with the Irby's 3 A's. So the first A is acknowledge.
So, like Juan said, the first A is acknowledge. And as you can see on my sign, it says, we'll shop on Black Friday. And as I'm portraying here, I'm someone who's obviously begging, right, on the street. The first thing for us, one thing that was really huge for us was acknowledging the fact that we were, big bad B word, broke. So, we make it, right? And a lot of us in society make it. We get by, we live paycheck to paycheck, we can go out and eat, once or twice a week, we buy a few of the luxuries that we enjoy, but we have this mountain of debt here in the background that we never focus on. And so, once you realize that you have debt, and you realize that you're not financially free, that big bad B word hits you and you realize that you're broke. And I think once you acknowledge that you're broke, you're able to make progress, So I think the first step is actually acknowledging and understanding that you're broke. And if you're still in debt, you shouldn't still be in the store. Back to you, Juan.
Thank you, Alexandria. So, the next A is agree. This one is mainly for spouses. You have to come to an agreement on, do you want to live paycheck to paycheck? Or do you want to get out of debt? So the first thing I would recommend is talk about your dreams. Talk about your goals. Like, where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Oh, hey, Alex, how are you?
Hello, everyone.
You don't look so bummy. So, talk about your dreams. Talk about your goals. Alex and I have talked about dreams and goals ever since we kind of started dating. And then also, it got really big once we started talking about marriage. And then once we got married, it got even bigger. So, talk about your dreams. Talk about your goals.
All right, and then the third A is action. So, once you figure out that you're broke, once you accept that you're broke, and I think that once you accept that you're broken, then you're in a place to start fixing things. So accepting that you're broke, just say it in the mirror. I am broke. Say it.
I don't have a mirror, but I do see this video. So, we are broke.
Broke. So anyway, once you realize that needs to be fixed, and once you're able to be on the same page with your spouse, really diving through, digging through your dreams and your goals, then you're actually able to get to the third A, which is action. And that's coming up with a plan of action. What I would say, or not what I would say, really what Dave would say, is that you need to get on a written budget. And we're going to talk about this a lot more as we hit you all with FPUF, but getting on a written budget, finding out exactly what you're spending money on. you will be surprised to see, like, once you get on a written budget, like, oh my goodness, there actually is money at the end of the month.
Feels like you got a raise.
Right, rather than vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So the action, I would say, that's when you need to start taking real steps. First thing, get yourself on a written budget. And not a like Juan and I had a written budget, right? So it was it was a denial budget, like a we're not really broke budget. It was like, here we go, we're going to write down all the bills. And then once we get to the end, whatever money is left, we're just going to spend that money. Like, duh, we have money left over.
Right. But now it's like, oh, wait, we have money left over. But now it's like we put that money on a bill to get out of debt.
You give every dollar an assignment. That's one thing that Dave says. Give every dollar an assignment.
Yes.
So another thing that you could do, would be the written budget, but also Financial Peace University. As you all know, that's where this whole video came from. But going to a Financial Peace University class really gave us a lot of support, really made us accountable for what we were doing, because you actually have people who are watching you, encouraging you, supporting you, looking up to you for you to stay on this. And so I think just starting somewhere would be that action step.
Right. So if you don't know where to start to get a financial peace class, just go to www.daveramsey.com, and at the top it says classes, and then just go to find a class. And
thanks, Amber.
Yeah. I know there is a FPU class coming to our church in January. So it's at the First Seventh-day Adventist Church, 1303 Evangel Drive, the best church in Huntsville. We sit high, but we work for the community. We are, I would say, God's like helping hand. But to get on to our next subject is time to celebrate and
consider.
So,
Can
one
we switch? I feel like last time you said celebrate.
Time to celebrate. The thing that we're going to celebrate is that's my phone going off. We just paid off another credit card.
Woo woo! Hey!
Confetti. So, it was a great feeling to pay off another credit card. Now we're working on our next debt, which is another credit card. But after we pay off that credit card, guess what? On to another debt.
But credit cards are done. We will be done with credit cards forever.
Forever and ever. Sorry. So now it's time to consider. Take it away, Alex.
So, our consider this week would be read. Alright. We got some insurance. We got some life insurance back in, and I'm going to keep it short. We got some life insurance earlier this year before we got into financial peace. We got into financial peace and learned more about the types of insurances that you should have. And so we looked into term life insurance. And again, something else, we'll talk about this a little bit more as we go on, but term life insurance, simply put, is a lot better than whole life insurance. And so we were in the process of changing out from whole life insurance to term life insurance. Well, I contacted our direct agent, I guess, for our policy, and I was told that if we canceled within the first year, we would not get any cash back. Fine. That's an L that you take. And I will say that too. During this process, you will take some L's because you've made some bad choices.
Right.
And, you just don't know what you were doing at the time. Anyway, so we were prepared to take that L. Well, on top of us not getting any money back, I was told by my agent that we would have to pay 90 days premium. Whoa. Like,
Time out.
How do we not get any money back and we have to pay you? No. Well, Juan decided that we should call Dave Ramsey.
And I was like, babe, just call Dave. What would Dave say? What would Dave do?
So,
WWDD. What would Dave do? I think we should get breaks instead. Say that.
I love it.
I love it.
Sorry, that's Dave. That's Dave, guys. Anyway,
Sorry.
So on Wednesday, I actually called Dave Ramsey, guys. I called him. I talked to him on the phone. You can see it if you go to Dave Ramsey's website and check out the live show. So I actually called into the show, and I was able to ask Dave a question, and I asked him about, the premiums and all of that. So anyway, basically Dave said that I needed to follow up, and that was something that I should not have to pay. He said if we were to cancel our policy, we should not have to pay out of pocket. Anyway, I read through our policy. I did not see anything that stated one way or the other. So I ended up, rather than talking to my agent directly, I ended up calling the company, finding out, bottom line is we don't have to pay anything to get out of that policy, which is a win. But the moral of the story is, the consideration is, read everything. And if you don't understand something, don't try to be a grown-up. Don't try to adult and just do what, people tell you or what you think is right. Like, actually read it for yourself. If you don't understand it, don't sign it. Make them explain that thing to you like you are 2 years old.
Line by line, word from word.
Yeah. So.
From or for?
For.
Forward.
Anyway, so that was the consider, but it's kind of like a celebrate, because what? I talked to Dave Ramsey on the phone. It was pretty cool, and he didn't yell at me.
She actually listened the first time. Your phone's ringing.
Wrap it up.
So, this is going to conclude our FPUF. Again, please share the videos, inbox us for messages, inbox us so we can answer your questions on here. So, thank y'all so much. Just remember things to celebrate and things to
consider.
Awesome.
And before we go, you can't see it, but I just want to say happy Iron Bowl Eve. And on the back of my jacket, I do have a big Alabama A. Roll Tide. We in there. Yeah. And we're done.
War Eagle.
Roll Tide, everyone.
War Eagle, everybody.
How do I end this video?